Welcome and good afternoon. This is Kamish Orr, and we are ready for game two of the Baseball Maelstrom POPs League Season 2 World Series between the Houston Hoots and the Boston Splinters. As always, you can head over to baseballmaelstrom.com if you want to follow the action. If you didn't see game one, pause here and go back and check that game out. Now that I have your attention back, game one, Houston squeaked by with a 7-6 victory. I think it was 7-6. 7-6 victory, I believe. Got to get in my score sheets and find that score sheet, and I believe it was 7-6. Look at that, 7-6. I was right. As they took a 6-1 lead into the fifth. Boston scored 4 to make it 6-5. Boston then tied it in the bottom of the seventh, but Houston scored again in the top of the eighth and ended up winning this one 7-6 to take game one in Boston. So now we're ready for game two. And so, without further ado, by the way, we're at Fenway Park again. The 1948 version of Fenway Park. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for Houston. By the way, the lineup's a little bit different than game one because they're facing a lefty starter, which we'll get to here in a minute. But leading things off, once again, is Tim Raines in left field. Arky Vaughan will be in the lineup at shortstop, batting second. Jeff Bagwell will be batting third and DHing today. Roberto Clemente will be in right, batting in the cleanup spot. Gil Hodges batting fifth at first base. Oscar Charleston in center field batting sixth. Rogers Hornsby batting seventh at second base. Mel Ott in the lineup at third base, batting eighth. And behind the plate is Ted Simmons batting ninth. On the mound today for the Houston Hoots is none other than Bob Gibson. This is the 1969 version of Bob Gibson, who was 20-13 with a 2.18 ERA that year. In our league, by the way, which is a third of a season, 54 games, he was 5-5, but had an ERA of 3. Now let's take a look at your home team, the Boston Splinters. Same lineup as before, by the way. Leading off in right field is Ichiro Suzuki. Alan Trammell at shortstop batting second. George Brett playing third base and batting third. Ted Williams in left field batting in the cleanup spot. Frank Thomas DHing in batting fifth. Mule Suttles batting sixth at first base. Mickey Mantle batting seventh in center field. Nellie Fox playing second base, batting eighth. And Carlton Fisk behind the plate and batting ninth. And on the mound today for Boston is none other than Rube Wadeell. And if you don't know anything about Rube Wadeell, you go check him out. He was quite a character. Quite a character. By the way, in the season, he is just 2-2 with an ERA of 3.66. Why just 2-2, you ask? Well, because Legends of Bus Set came out and allowed me to get a card for him. So he joined the season a little later than normal. And so he is on the mound there for Boston. With all that said, we are ready for the first pitch. As Tim Raines, who was 0 for 5, by the way, in game one, will step in against Rube Wadeell. And right away we have a patient 97. And Raines, even though he was ahead in the count, takes a swing and drills this one into right field, but Ichiro will be able to track it down for out number 1. Arky Vaughan steps in. Vaughan did not play in game 1, but is in to play game 2 here. In play 36. He pops this one up on the infield. Sky high, and Trammell settles under it for out number 2. Jeff Bagwell. He was 1 for 4, drove in a couple of runs yesterday. Tough 0-9, and he strikes him out. Rube Wadeell with the strikeout here to end the first inning. 3 up, 3 down. We head to the bottom of the first as Bob Gibson will deal against Ichiro. Ichiro was 2 for 5 yesterday and scored a couple times. Very dangerous leadoff hitter. Tough 45. And this time he pops one up on the infield in foul territory. And Hodges will be under it to secure out number 1. Alan Trammell, 1 for 3 yesterday. And that will be an in-play 22, and that's going to be a base hit. First hit of the game here for either team. And Trammell, with his jump of 4, will stay put and bring up George Brett. Brett was 4 for 4 yesterday with a home run, a double, and a couple of singles. And he draws a walk here in the first. And that's going to bring up Ted Williams. And no wild pitch, but in play 30 is going to be a base hit. I take a look at this number, and if it's 1-2 left field, 3-4 center, 5-6 right, that's a base hit to center field. Let's see who's on second. Trammell. So here's what I do. I have a little homebrew here. Runner second to home, center field, in play, 6 or above, he would score. And he does have a running of 6. Charleston's arm is 7. That's no modifier for that. So Ted Williams driving in the first run of the game here as Boston takes an early 1-0 lead. They did take a 1-0 lead yesterday as well when Brett hit a solo home run in the first inning. So we have runners on first and second. Frank Thomas stepping in against Gibson. And once again, that's going to be an in-play, but this time it is out of range for Thomas's base hits, and instead he pops this one up, and Hornsby calls everybody off, and he'll haul this one in for out number 2. Mule settles. Another in play. This time he grounds this one to Hodges at first, and Hodges will take it to the bag himself. And that will end the inning, but not before a couple of base hits and a walk lead to a Boston run here early. And Boston will take a 1-0 lead here into the top of the second. Roberto Clemente facing off against Rube Wadeell. Patient 62 and not very patient. And so Clemente will drive this one to right field. Suzuki on the run and makes the catch. Gil Hodges. A defense check, and that's a range 5 on any range is going to be a hit. That is a base hit for Hodges. It's his first at bat of the World Series, and he reaches safely here. Oscar Charleston steps in. Hodges with a little lead on first. In play 63. And Hodges hits this one to left. But Williams will be there, and they're now 2 down. Rogers Hornsby. He was 1 for 2. He walked once yesterday. In play 21, and that's going to be a base hit. Base hit to center with 2 out. And Hodges running is a 5, only a 5. So let's see, first to third, center, 2 out, 7 or above, and so Hodges is not going to advance to third. Not much speed. But they do have runners on first and second now with 2 outs, and Mel Ott steps in. Ott also did not play yesterday. In play 84, and he grounds this one to second. And that will end the inning as Fox throws over to Suttles there. So we enter the top of the bottom of the second. Boston still with a 1-0 lead here. Gibson will face the bottom of the order. Mantle, Fox, and Fisk. And that's an in-play 14. That's going to be a base hit for Mickey Mantle. A leadoff single here. He does not try to steal. Nellie Fox. Tough 53. And that's a G5. Double play is an 8 for Gibson, but only a 6 for Fox. So, let's see. 53 was a grounder to third. They'll get the lead runner, but they can't turn 2. So, Ott over to Hornsby. But that's all they'll get. Fox won't go anywhere either. And brings up Carlton Fisk. A defense check. Shortstop error. And Vaughn has an error rating of 3. 1/42. And it is a 31. That's going to be a... Vaughn bobbles this one. And that will put runners on first and second with just 1 out. Gibson, once again, running into trouble here. Tough 10, and he strikes out Ichiro. Caught him looking on one on the kind of low, a little bit low, but called strike. There are now 2 outs. Trammell. Tough 74, and Gibson will get out of the inning as Trammell grounds this one to Hornsby. Hornsby over to first for out number 3. So Gibson pitches out of trouble there. We head to the top of the third. It will be Ted Simmons and then the top of the Houston order. Wadeell deals, and that's patient 76. Simmons not very patient either. And Simmons will line this one to center. And Mantle will be there. 1 down. Raines still looking for his first hit. That's a defense check. Third base range, and an 84 isn't going to matter, as that's a grounder to third. Brett over to first. 2 down. Archie Vaughn. Patient 41. And he walks him. A 2-out walk here for Vaughn. Oh, no, excuse me. Patient 41 is a base hit. Patient 41 is a base hit. 2-out single for Vaughn. Yeah, patient 41. Okay. All right. I've been forgetting that there is a lefty on the mound right now, but I don't think it's mattered so far because the other rolls were high enough that it wouldn't have mattered. All right. So Vaughn's on first, and Bagwell steps up to the plate. And that's a patient. That's another walk. Or a walk. Not another walk. A walk. Yeah, because what did Simmons have? Simmons flew out to center. Yeah, he would have still flown out to center. Okay. Sorry, folks. Just making sure that we got everything here. And that 56, that was beyond anyway. Yep, that was beyond. Okay. We're back on track here, folks. A 2-out walk for Bagwell puts runners on first and second with Clemente stepping in. And that's a tough 68. And that will end the inning as Clemente grounds this one to second. And Fox will actually take it to second. He flips to Trammell. for out number 3. So once again, a couple of base runners there for Houston, but not able to convert those into anything. All right, Gibson facing off against Brett, Williams, and Thomas here in the 3rd. In play 16, that's another base hit. A leadoff single here for Brett. That 7 is coming up quite a bit here. And so Brett has reached base every time in this World Series. Ted Williams. Williams had an RBI single in his first at bat. And once again, that's going to be another base hit, this time to right. Now Clemente has a good arm. So Brett will stay put in this case. Now there's still runners on first and second with nobody out and Frank Thomas up. And that's a patient. That is going to be a walk and loads the bases. Gibson in some trouble here again in the 3rd. Infield will be in. Suttles. Tough 46 struck him out. Big strikeout there for Gibson. Mickey Mantle. Mantle does not ground into many double plays, but they are playing him back for the double play just in case. Not going to need it. There is another walk, and that Gibson walks in a run here. Mantle with a great eye, laying off some pitches that were very close. Still playing even up for Fox. In play 3, it's going to be bad for Gibson as that's a double. That is a double. Runner on first is Mantle with a 6. In play. Double first to home to left. In play, left, 8 or above. No. So that's going to score Williams. It's going to score Thomas, and Mantle will hold up at 3rd. And it is a 4-0 ball game now. Carlton Fisk steps in. Once again, they're going to play in. Tough 59, and that's going to be a base hit. Another base hit. This time Tough. So that's going to score 1, but Fox is going to hold it 3rd. Ichiro, runners on the corners now with 1 out. Patient, this is going to be a rare play. 68. 68, runners on base. Patient, 68. Catcher expects a different pitch. Ball gets by him for a pass ball. D or F range lets the next pitch get by him also. He doesn't have D or F, so it's going to be a pass ball. And now we're going to check patient again. So let's re-roll 11, and that's going to be a double for Ichiro. And once again, Boston now up 7-0. Quick activity in the bullpen as Gibson pitches to Trammell. That's going to be a grounder to the pitcher. Ichiro will probably make it to 3rd on the play. Ground ball advanced to 3rd. Ichiro with a lot of speed. So he will advance to 3rd on the play, but there are now 2 out. And let's see here. Insert a new inning as they batted around here in the 3rd inning with George Brett. Gibson facing one more batter. Maybe. And another walk. It's not getting any easier here. 2 2/3 for Gibson. So once again, a short outing. And Warren Spahn will come into pitch, as he's another guy that's not slated to start. And they're just going to take their lumps, hopefully, here with Spahn. All right, so Warren Spahn coming in. Gibson exits with just 2 2/3 innings. And Boston has taken a commanding 7-0 lead here. There are runners on the corners. Brett has been on base every time of the World Series. He doesn't go for a jump here. Spahn just trying to get out of this inning. A defense check, and that will do it. A center field, a range check, a short fly to center. Charleston has to come in quite a bit, but he will make the catch on the run to end the third inning. A big third inning here for Boston. 6 runs. And that gives Rube Wadeell plenty of breathing room here. But the game is still only in the 4th inning, so who knows what could happen. Wadeell will face Hodges, Charleston, and Hornsby. Defense check. A left field error check, and that's going to be a deep fly to left. Williams backing at the wall. He makes a little leap and makes the catch. Great play by Williams. Charleston, that's tough 74. And that's another fly ball, this time to center field. Mantle settles under it for out number 2. Hornsby. Tough 17, and he struck him out. Second strikeout for Wadeell. And a 1-2-3 inning here for Houston. We head to the bottom of the 4th. Thomas, Suttles, and Mantle to face Warren Spahn. And he walks Thomas to lead things off. There's a lot of walks here today, folks. Boston has been very patient at the plate. Suttles. Tough 17, and he struck him out. First strikeout for Spahn. Brings up Mickey Mantle. Tough 16, and another strikeout. Back-to-back strikeouts here for Spahn in the 4th inning. Nellie Fox. Now, Fox doesn't strike out very often at all. Tough 4, and another strikeout. Spahn strikes out the side here in the 4th. Dominating display after that leadoff walk. We head to the 5th. Wadeell facing Ott, Simmons, and then the top of the order. Tough 82. And Ott will ground this one to second. Fox throws over to first for out number 1. Simmons, tough 20, and he struck him out. Third strikeout there for Wadeell. And actually, if it ends in an 8-9 or a 0, I do a caught looking strikeout. Oh, I gotta back up the strike too. Strikeout looking. There we go. Just a little thing that I do. We are back to the top of the order with Tim Raines. Raines looking for his first hit in the series. And he is not going to get it here as he grounds this one to short. Trammell with an easy play to first. Another 3-up, 3-down inning. Spahn will face Fisk and then the top of the order. Ballpark. Wheelhouse 89. And that's way too high. Fisk grounds a hard grounder to short. But Vaughn makes the stop over to first, and Fisk will be out by a step. Ichiro. Tough 16, and he struck him out. 4 strikeouts now for Warren Spahn. And Alan Trammell steps in. Tough 80. And Trammell lines this one to center, and Charleston makes the grab. 3-up, 3-down here in the 5th. We head to the top of the 6th. Houston running out of time here to start catching up. Vaughn, Bagwell, and Clemente due up. Patient 52, and that's a base hit for Vaughn. I think that's roughly what he did last time up was a patient base hit. So Vaughn with the leadoff single here. Jeff Bagwell will step in. Tough 84, and that's in bad news as that's right at Trammell, who flips to Fox over to first for a 6-4-3 double play. That killed the rally right there. 2 outs now, nobody on. Clemente in play 17. That's going to be a base hit. 2-out single here for Clemente. Brings up Gil Hodges. Defense. Error. Much too high. That's going to be a ground ball to short. And Trammell over to first. Another scoreless inning. Spahn facing Brett Williams and Thomas here in the 6th. Defense. First base range. And that's going to be a grounder to first. Hodges beats Brett to the bag. And that is the first time they've retired him in this World Series. He is on base 7 straight times. Ted Williams in play 11. That's going to be a double in the gap. Williams 3 for 4 today. And that's the first base hit Spahn has allowed. Frank Thomas. That's another in play 22, and that's another base hit. Base hit to left. Base hit to left. I don't think Williams is going to actually, base hit to left. Second to home, left. In play is a 7. Williams is not going to have a 7. He's going to have a 6. And Raines in left. But this 3 here means he's going to try to score. And he's out. He's going to be thrown out. So Thomas with the single. And Williams will be out at home. As Tim Raines guns him down at the plate. And since it was on a single, there was no cutoff. So Houston gets a little bit of a help here. As Williams thought he could make it home on the play. So Frank Thomas on first, 2 down for Mule Suttles. Patient 33. That's going to be a walk. Boston has drawn quite a few walks today. Quite a few. There's 1 there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 walks. So runners on first and second, and Mantle steps in. And that'll be the end of the inning. In play 96. Mantle Lists this one high to right field, and Clemente will be under it for out number 3. So Boston not able to score. We head to the top of the 7th. Houston still looking for their first run here. Charleston, Hornsby, and Ott coming up. Tough 42. And that's going to be a leadoff single here for Charleston. A leadoff base hit. Now his jump is only a 5, so he's staying where he's at. Hornsby. Tough 18 and struck him out. Full count. Caught him looking. Questionable call, actually. But they'll take it. Mel Ott. Tough 66. And this is another grounder to short. Trammell to Fox to Suttles. The second 6-4-3 double play here in back-to-back innings. So once again, Houston comes up short. Spawn. Are they just going to burn him here? They may. It's pitch 3 1/3. They need 3 more innings here. There is a day off tomorrow. So I guess what we could do is 3 1/3. And bring in Jesse Haynes, who's not somebody you want to be on the mound at any point. But they're down 7-0, so it's probably, if ever you were going to bring in Jesse Haynes to pitch at any point, this would be it. So Haynes coming in to pitch. And they already have activity in the bullpen because that's how dangerous it can be to have Haynes on the mound usually. Got a couple of wheelhouses, a ballpark, and a patient right in the middle. Yeah. We'll see how he does. Nellie Fox. In play 96. Well, there's a good one. Fox drills this one to right, and Clemente will be there. 1 down. That brings up Carlton Fisk. In play 13 is a base hit. Oh, I didn't do 7th inning stretch, folks. Houston, no runs, 6 hits and 1 error, and Boston, 7 runs on, it was 10 hits and no error. Now it's 11 hits. Fisk on first. Ichiro at the plate. And there's the patient that I'm talking about. Ichiro does not walk very often, but he does get base hits very often, and that will be one. That's a base hit. Fisk stays at second. This 10 would suggest he's not going to even try to go. And Alan Trammell steps into the plate. Tough, 78. And this is a fly out to center. Charleston under it. 2 down. Haynes may make it through the inning yet, but he has to get through George Brett, who has been on fire this World Series. Tough. 52, and he does make it through as Brett grounds this one to third. Ott slaps it down. Over to first. Scoreless inning for Jesse Haynes. Wadeell will face Simmons and then the top of the order. So far, he's been able to get out of any trouble that he's ever gotten in. But this is going to be a leadoff base hit here for Simmons. So that's the 3rd straight inning they've let off with a single. And Raines steps in. He's 0 for 8 now in this series. Tough 68. That's going to be 0 for 9. And that, once again, is going to be Trammell to Fox to Suttles. Another 6-4-3 double play. 3 straight innings, they lead off with a base hit. And 3 straight innings, Houston hits into a double play. Vaughn gets the 2-out walk. And 12 means we're going to take a look at, okay, 7 hole, the 60 is he's safe. Taking a look at a pickoff there. Bagwell. Tough 32, and that's going to be another base hit. That's a single for Bagwell. Single to left. Tough means Vaughn's speed gets reduced to 6. First to third, left, no. He's going to stay at second. And Clemente steps to the plate. Tough 98, and that's a sky-high ball to left. But Williams will have plenty of room to make the catch. And we head to the bottom of the 8th. Still 7-0. There's activity in the bullpen, but Haynes will pitch to at least one batter. Tough 45. Ooh, look at that. So close to a base hit, but instead Williams gets under it just a little bit and pops this one up. And Vaughn will be there for the first out. So Haynes gets another to pitch to another batter. This time Frank Thomas. Defense check. Shortstop error rating. Error rating's a 3. 1 to 42. It's a 45. And this is another pop out to short. Back-to-back pop outs to short. Mule settles. Patient 35. And Settles draws a 2-out walk. Mickey Mantle. Patient 65, and that's another walk. Welp. Fox. 2 on and 2 out now. Finally, an in play and not a patient. 43, and he's going to get out of this inning too, as that is a grounder to first. Hodges will take it to the bag himself, and Haynes has made it through another inning. So after that 6-run inning in the third, Boston has gone scoreless, but here is Wadeell looking at a shutout here, heading into the 9th. Hodges, Charleston, and Hornsby, the only thing standing in his way. He deals to Hodges, and he walks him, a leadoff walk. It's the 4th straight inning that they've had a base runner on base to lead things off. No stolen base threat. Charleston, trying to get him on the board at least. Tough 33, and he struck him out. Wow, so close. So close. Hornsby's 1 for 3. He's struck out a couple of times. Oh boy, here. Ballpark. Hornsby is a righty. 56 is a wheelhouse, and 4 is way back and gone. And just like that, the shutout has gone as Hornsby hits a 2-run homer here in the 9th to finally put Houston on the board. There's a little activity in the Boston bullpen. Let's take a look. Mel Ott. Ott is still a great hitter against lefties, honestly. Even though you wouldn't know it because he's 0 for 3 today. He will go ahead and bat. And he struck him out. Wadeell ends it on a high note. Strikes out Mel Ott to end the game here. Oh no, that's only out number 2. I'm way ahead of myself, folks. I am way ahead of myself. Ted Simmons. Oh, boy. Simmons will bat. He had a base hit the last inning. Tough 31 and another base hit. Hey, the game isn't over yet, folks. The game is not over yet, as Simmons is now 2 for 4 and gets them back to the top of the order for Tim Raines, who is 0 for 9. He's due. He is due. Tough 12, but he struck him out. Wadeell strikes out the side here in the 9th. And that finally, my friends, is the third out and the end of the game. Boston has now tied the series at a game apiece with a 7-2 victory. Houston, 2 runs on 10 hits and 1 error. Boston, 7 runs on 12 hits and no errors. A big third inning is basically what did in Houston today. Bob Gibson does not last. Look at all of these walks. So many walks. So many walks. Which is what Boston does. They get on base and then they punish you when they can. So let's see here. Player of the game has to go to Rube Wadeell, who took that shutout into the 9th before allowing a 2-run homer to Rogers Hornsby. But other than that, he was pretty untouchable. Pretty untouchable. So, Boston ties us at a 1 game apiece. There is a day of travel before we head to 3 games in Houston at the Astrodome. So, stay tuned for those games. I will, of course, have the recordings of those games up in the next few days. So be watching for those. Let me know down below who you think is going to pull this series out now that it's tied at a game apiece. Love to hear your thoughts on that. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, have a great evening.